At the beginning of the movie, we meet Knull, the god of the void who lives in a dark world. Long ago, light invaded his kingdom, and his symbiotes children betrayed him and imprisoned him here. However, they created a codex that could free him, and he uses xenophages to find it, promising to reward them in return. Now, somewhere in the sacred timeline, Eddie is talking to a bartender who says that Thanos caused his family to disappear for 5 years. Suddenly, a portal opens behind him, transporting him to Mexico. Venom urges him to get a drink and goes wild, mixing drinks like a true bartender while causing chaos around him. After that, there is a news broadcast saying that Eddie is wanted for the murder of Detective Patrick in San Francisco, and he can no longer return there. He wonders where he could go and sees the Statue of Liberty in front of him. Since Venom dreams of visiting it, he decides to go to New York. While paying, Venom leaves a small sample of his symbiote at the bar. Camera from a distance is tracking his moves. Now they are wanted by the police, and Venom wants to eat every bad guy they encounter on their way. Eddie hears a noise nearby and goes to investigate. Venom helps him open a door where they find many dogs that are locked up. It appears that he has stumbles into the wrong place, and now they won't let him leave. Venom asks for permission to attack and enjoys fighting these thugs who are unaware of what they have gotten into. Venom lets one dog go, but soon finds a substitute and works as a team with Eddie. However, they do not work well together because Venom does not communicate synchronously. Nevertheless, Venom finds his meal and enough fuel for the journey to New York, but his shoes are damaged, so he continues on without. Just as he leaves, a creature arrives responding to the Venom symbiote when it merges with Eddie. But since they are not merged now, the creature cannot locate its target, and Eddie walks away. Additionally, someone else is tracking him and calling General Strickland, who captured the sample from Venom left in the bar. He asks the bartender what he knows about Eddie, who mentions that Eddie acted strangely with big wild arms, and the general takes him in as well. We meet Payne, who is stargazing with her twin brother until they notice that the weather is worsening. As they try to escape from lightning, it strikes her, and her brother dies, after which she wakes up from her dream. The general orders the body of Patrick, who is on life support, to be taken to emergency symbiosis. Payne goes to Area 51, known for testing aliens, which is now a military base. Her task is assigned to Area 55, where she studies and analyzes symbiotes while the general collects them like infinity stones. With the symbiote, they manage to save Patrick's life. We also meet Sadie, who receives the sample from Venom in Mexico and finds its place. She then goes to Patrick, who wakes up and breathes rapidly. It is the first time they have a symbiote compatible with a host, and they merge to examine him. Patrick quickly joins them and says that he and the other symbiotes are running from xenophages and are seeking a safe haven. They are under threat from Knull, who will destroy everything in his path if he catches them. He sees a vision of the future in which Knull destroys everything. Now the scene shifts to a plane bound for New York, where Eddie is hanging out as he completely transforms into Venom, attracting the attention of a creature that locates him. Venom attacks and successfully throws it into the plane's turbine, and then he pulls back to avoid drawing further attention, causing Eddie to fall while Venom transforms into a parachute. On the way to Area 51, we meet Martin, who is traveling with his family. His dream is to see the lab and maybe even aliens, which resulted in him using all his savings for this trip. As they drive, parts from the creature falls from the plane and starts to regenerate completely. After landing, Eddie demands answers about what happened up there, and Venom explains that it was a xenophage created by Knull but doesn't mention his name. He says that Knull wants the codex that was created when Eddie died, and Venom brought him back to life. Now, every time he fully transforms into Venom, it sends a signal to the xenophage, thereby locating him. The codex is the key to freeing Knull. If one of them dies, the codex dies as well. Continuing on, they notice a horse that Venom possesses for a quick getaway. Back at the laboratory, the general doesn't believe that they are here for a safe haven, but rather to take over their planet. Everyone who fell from the meteor has been captured and stored. The general receives news about a man who jumped from a plane, and along with his team goes to collect the symbiote. Venom jumps into the water as they pursue him and transforms into a fish, then into a frog, while observing Eddie moving toward an abyss. To save him, he decides to merge, sending a signal to the creature that is coming for them. He jumps into the water and Eddie returns, where the creature loses its target and attacks the surrounding army. The general is upset because he didn't know that any other alien species existed, and Eddie continues on foot. After this news, the laboratory interrogates Patrick about the creature, and for the first time he fully transforms with his symbiote and says that Knull wants the black one, Venom. If he obtains the key and frees himself, it will be the end. While wandering, Eddie meets Martin and his wife Nova, along with their children Echo and Leaf. Martin gives him a plate that Venom tosses. Martin mentions that his dream is to see an alien. Venom wants to show him right away, but Eddie calms him down. Eddie takes a ride with them while they are singing, and later Leaf gives him chocolate and says he doesn't want to see the alien because he's afraid. Eddie tells him aliens don't exist, while Venom is glad he didn't eat the family. They arrive in Las Vegas, where Eddie continues on alone and is immediately spotted by a camera while he gets sandals and money. Along the way, he eats chocolate and sees the Statue of Liberty as a cosplay. He only has $20 in his pocket, and Venom suggests gambling in a casino to boost their budget, so Eddie goes there. He is denied entry due to his appearance. Venom knocks him out and notices a guard in the background who is distracted. He approaches him and gets a bit from him, but Venom knocks him out and takes the suit, entering the casino. Venom immediately takes control and puts their last money into a slot machine, hitting it like crazy in hopes of getting rich. However, he loses everything, and Venom punches the machine. But someone in the background is winning, and it's Chen, who recognizes him and invites him to her penthouse suite to celebrate. Eddie wants to go, but Venom demands the last dance with Chen. However, the transformation brings the creature back here, and Venom uses stealth to avoid detection as Eddie. Agents from Area 51 arrive and capture both Venom and Eddie, while Martin enters Area 51 and sneaks into the restricted area. The Venom symbiote starts to deteriorate without a suitable host, so they merge Venom with other symbiotes for safety. Meanwhile, Eddie wakes up to see that Patrick is alive and also has a symbiote, telling him to protect the codex and free the other symbiotes. The general arrives, dismisses both doctors, and takes full control. He wants to kill Eddie, but Sadie has hidden the Venom symbiote, which she releases and attacks them as Venom, who immediately merges with Eddie. The creature quickly arrives, and Patrick sacrifices himself as he gets absorbed. Venom demands that all symbiotes be freed, and they immediately find hosts and attack the creature. In an intense battle, some are absorbed, while Sadie also gets a symbiote. They hold the creature off while Eddie runs to secure the codex, and Martin finally sees the aliens he has longed to see. Meanwhile, Dr. Payne steals a container with a symbiote. On the other side, Eddie runs and climbs to Martin, where he surprises them and calls Venom to greet them, who thanks them for the chocolate and confirms that aliens do exist. The general and army fight against the creature, using an RPG, and kill the symbiotes that are holding it, while others with Eddie help Martin and his family to stay safe. The injured creature begins to regenerate, and Payne takes it down. The creature uses sound to call for another to join, and makes their chances for battle harder. Sadie is knocked down, and Eddie takes a motorcycle, transforming into Venom to pull them away. The general pursues them with the army, entering the fight where he saves an agent by falling into the creature's claws. Eddie joins forces with Sadie, using chopper blades to take off the creature's head and save the general. But Eddie becomes the target of the second creature, and that's when Martin, who now has no sympathy for aliens, intervenes. The general is injured and unable to fight, so on the other side, Sadie fights but loses her symbiote. Venom leads Eddie to the chopper while the other creatures have arrived, making the battle impossible. Venom and Eddie prepare to go full form as they merge with the other creatures and send a signal to the general to use the acid tanks on it, flinging Eddie to safety. Venom uses all the acid he has and protects Eddie, while the general sacrifices himself in an explosion. At that moment, Payne runs with Sadie, who lags behind and recalls a moment similar to that with her brother, prompting her to activate the symbiote she saved and rescue Sadie. Eddie is now in the hospital, and for his bravery, the nation is thankful to both of them. He is free to start a new life, and everything that happened in San Francisco will be erased. After his recovery, Eddie walks through New York and gets used to life without Venom, who is now on his mind. He says he will never forget Venom while looking at the Statue of Liberty, which was Venom's dream to see in person. In the credits scene, we see Knull saying that the King in Black is awake and everyone will burn. In the second credits scene, we see the bartender escaping Area 55 and a symbiote inhabiting a cockroach.